Good day, good day. Actually, it's the same day. Yeah, I'm in editing mode right now. I love it, love it, love it. So I thought I would do another photograph for you and just kind of show you what, you know, the things that I do. Um, and if you look at my last video, you'll see that I did a very basic edit. I brightened it up, and I did. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. My mind is just swirling around saying things. This video, I don't have the interruption of big giant dogs, which you know what, I love them to bits, but yeah, they have a tendency to get a little bit rambunctious when you don't pay attention to them. So they have decided, they made the choice that it was nap time. So I give them a treat and they're off to bed. So no interruptions. Now I do have it's a photograph I did last night, sunset over a lake. It's the sun is not actually touching the water. There is some land behind it. But what I wanted to show you was there's different layers that you can put on your photographs for editing and just sort of enhancement and make it look a little bit more like a work of art. The one that I'm going to be working with is called Orton-ish. And this particular technique was designed by some man named what's his name, Michael Orton. And what he's designed really is just when you take two or three more negatives and you put them on top of each other, and then you just kind of pull them apart slightly, and you end up with a little bit of a blur technique, but still keeping the integrity of the photograph itself. Excuse me. And sometimes, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. I was just kind of messing around with this sunset photograph, and I'm telling, it's looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you start to finish what I did. If you've never used, and like I said, I use Picasa. I love Picasa because it has so many different features in it, and I'm not tied to it. I'm not affiliated with Google products whatsoever. I'm just telling you because this is the application that I love to use. Sorry, I just gotta fix that. Anyway, so I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you don't see any. Yes, I do have Picasa open. Let me see. There we go. And because my computer is slow, it's working hard. It's working extra hard. And there we go. And where did I go? I keep losing myself here. There I am. Okay. And we are, okay. So, excuse me. So this is one of the pictures that I did last night on my way back from the photo shoot that I was working on. And just a little recap, you import. If they're not import, sometimes they import automatically, depending on how buried they are in folders and whatnot. Picasa will import them automatically. I know that there is an update. This is Picasa 3, and I believe there's a Picasa 3.9. So once I'm done here, I'm going to go and update that, and I'm going to use the 3.9. Yes, pretty sure it's 3.9. I'm going to use that on my next one. All right, so double click on the photograph, and as you can see, let me just move this up here. As you can see, oh, where did I go here? There we go. So, I mean, some people will look at that and say, oh my gosh, what a great photograph. To me, again, I see potential. There's potential in this. I did not delete it. I could have very well deleted it because it wasn't exactly what my eye saw. Um, what I saw with my eye was up here. These clouds are very dramatic. And this was a lot lighter. So what my camera ended up doing was adjusting the light for this. And so this ends up buried and then this ends up buried. And so you just kind of have to make some adjustments digitally, enhance some things. So was I going to crop this? I think I was going to crop it just a little bit. And again, make sure, well, I mean, depending on your project. I mean, some people will do CD covers. There's a CD cover right there. Depending on your project. Now, if I take this particular photograph, which if I was to print this at 100%, it would be enormous. It would probably fill this wall. I like to shoot my photographs huge so that when I do crop, if I have a little spot that I want cropped, um, then it's not going to be pixelated. So you just have to be very careful. So once you crop, it's always a good idea just to really, really, I don't like to say blow it up, increase the size just to make sure that the pixelation is not going to overtake. So I need my glasses for this. It's going to be such a small job. Okay, so I'm going to crop this. And the reason I want to crop it is so another photographic term is the rule of thirds. So when you're doing, oh, I'm pointing at the photograph like you can see my hand. I'm bad for that. So your horizon line should never be in the center. And so this from here to here, I would consider that my horizon line. It should never ever be in the center because that that has a tendency to, I don't know, once you look at it, your eye goes to one spot and then it doesn't move around. And so a good photograph, you want your eye to move around in circles. So I'm going to crop this according to the rule of thirds. Once I crop it, then you'll see a little bit more what I mean by the rule of thirds. So I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to go a little bit bigger. I just don't want my horizon to be in the middle of my photo. Okay. Like that. And now, okay, there we go. So you'll notice that the sun is now moved over. Imagine you have three sections. So a photograph is cut up into, well, it'll be nine squares total, but three sections horizontally and three sections vertically. And your focus, your focal point, I like to call your visual magnet should be in one of those squares. It should never be right dead center. And that will give, see, I'm pointing at the picture again, like you can see my fingers. You should never have, let me just undo this crop and I'm going to show you the difference. See, now the sun is a little bit closer to center, which means when you look at it, your eye goes directly here. And now when you put your visual magnet more in one of those sections, so right now this section and my horizon line is below center and it is in one of those, so it's gonna go like this and like this. So now it's following that rule of thirds. So you can't use my hands. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So just kind of visualize um, three sections going this way and three sections going this way. Okay. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I like the crop. Now I'm going to bring up my fill light. And as I'm filling in the light, you're going to see the foreground come in. I know the sky is going to be a little bit overblown. However, when I do the I can't pronounce it. When I add that feature, um, you're going to see a little bit more drama in the sky, and you can see here, you know, where the clouds are picking up the sunlight, and now you can see some texture in the grass. Oh, you know what? Another reason why. Let me just go back here, and I wanted to show you something else here. Another reason why I wanted to crop this out. I'm going to bring up my fill light here. Look at, there's the road. So when I was doing this photograph, I was actually, I believe I was in the car. Nope, maybe I was. Anyway, sometimes you can get a great shot from the window of the car, and my zoom just wasn't enough to get rid of this dirt road. So that's another reason why. Okay, so I'm going to redo my tuning. And my crop is gone, but that's okay. I can show you why I wanted to crop that. Another reason why I wanted to crop it was because of the dirt road. Okay, and I want that sun to be following the rule of thirds guidelines. Okay, there we go. So that dirt road is gone. That's no longer that's no longer drawing your attention backwards. The sun, uh, this star technique, the starburst technique, when you're pointing directly at the sun, you want to set your camera to an f16 or higher. F22 would be perfect. The higher the number, higher the F number, the more of a starburst you're going to get. But again, just remember your law of reciprocity. If you're going to be closing the shutter, you need to increase the shutter speed. So even though yeah, so you just have to be very, very careful. The longer the shutter is open, the more apt you are to have a little bit of shake. So um, I was lucky. I got a lot of, let me just zoom in here. Let me show you that I got a nice sharp focus. You can see the pixelation, um, but the focus is quite sharp. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. And I did say that I was going to show you how to straighten things. So you'll notice the water is not, it's not perfectly level. Um, you know, physics says that if water is perfectly level, then it will sit flat. But if it's not, then you're going to see a flow. So this water I know is perfectly flat. So I'm going to straighten that up just a wee bit. And these handy guidelines are a huge help because then you can visually make sure that, that your water is perfect. Now, unless you're going for a technique, I mean, certainly, you know, if you're going for a sloping water technique, then I would suggest you do it do an exaggeration. Where was I? Do an exaggeration of the slope. Okay. I don't think it changed much, but it changed enough to, you know, make sure that that water was pin straight. That's the only thing that I like to have like perfect is the between the water and the bank, the land. All right. And I'm not going to use any of those. I don't need to sharpen it because I am going to use the ortonish technique. And again, the ortonish technique is layers of photographs, layers of negatives, digital photographs. You can layer them on top of each other. Some people will use an application called Stacks, where you just keep stacking photographs on top of forward. And if you are, like, for instance, shooting the moon, if you're going to be shooting a picture of the moon, I always suggest you shoot probably about 10 of them, because you want to get them as sharp as possible, because as you're shooting it, you do have to have your shutter open for a little bit longer than normal. And so even though we can't see it, um, because it does move slow, it does move and your camera will pick it up. And so you will see a little bit of movement. So I suggest doing multiple pictures and then stacking them on top of each other to just to get that sharpness. Um, I be able to might be able to show you that, but for now, I want to do the ortonish technique, and you'll see that I do have some drama in the clouds here, not a lot. Now have a look at this. And again, there we go. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit. I might even go back and pull some of the let me darken that up a bit here. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'll have to go back and undo everything, but that's okay. I will recrop on it. I'm going to undo the tuning because I think I might have brightened it up a little too much. And I think one of the dogs is ready to escape. Let's fill this up, but I don't want to fill it up too much there. I think what happened was I filled it too bright. I need no shadows. Okay. Excuse me. Now I'm going to go back and crop this just to get rid of the dirt road and make sure that that focal, that visual magnet is adhering to the rule of thirds. There's not many rules when it comes to photographs, but that one I always like to stick to that rule. Make sure your visual magnet is not dead center, or your horizons are not dead center. Okay, and let's go back and straighten that a bit. I know it's tiny, but if you look at this line here, there's the water line, and then come over here and there's the water line. You can see that little bit of a difference. So, whoops, going the wrong way. And there we go. So now look at this water line compared to this water line over here. They are, there we go. There we go. Okay. Ortonish. Let's get this drama in here. There we go. That's better. I like that so much better. Let me see if we can bring up the brightness here to get a little bit more drama in those clouds. To bloom at all. Oh, look at that starburst. I love the starburst, but I'm not fond of this right here. I could dodge that out a little bit, but then it won't look as natural as what it should. Maybe I'll take the brightness back down. No. Yeah. Okay. Happens when I fade. like the bloom. I like that bloom very much. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that. I do believe the dog has escaped. Little stinker. Just zoom in here. I'm just going to take out some of this. So you're going to click on what you want to eliminate and then come over here, dodge it, and pick up something that matches, something that's going to. Let me just see what happens when I no. If you make a mistake, you can always come back and undo the patch. That might have been too big of a patch. Just going to undo all that stuff here. This is the stuff that takes a lot of time, is the patching, but it's well worth it, especially if you have like a hydro line or like a telephone line going right through your photograph. And you know, let's say you have a beautiful building and you've got this electricity running directly through. These patches really come in handy. Let's see, let's reset. I'm going to start over here. This if it wasn't for the ortonish, this probably wouldn't be as blazing. I think I may have gotten it. Just checking that one of the dogs may have gotten out of his cage. Yeah. I'm just gonna soften up this a bit because the sunlight here is just, there we go. We'll apply that and see what that looks like. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit easier on the eyes. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. And I mean, it's not a huge work of art. It's not gallery worthy as far as I'm concerned. It's something to practice your techniques on. Um, the more you practice on photographs that you thought should have been deleted and you can salvage them, the better you're going to get at this. And it's okay to play around with all these different techniques, cinemascope, and just keep playing around with them until you find something that suits you. I'm not fond of the posterize. I've never used it. Um, there's a couple of other ones. Infrared, yeah. There's a couple of other ones that I want to show you that I've done. But this one I thought that one is actually salvageable. Some it might even look good printed. I'm going to sign it. Always sign them. Ready to go. Oops. Make sure that when you're signing it, that you spell it right. I did a series of churches and one of my photographs had bad spelling on it. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Do I like that color? I do. Oh, you know what? Like that as well. There we go. A very subtle signature on the bottom. I don't know if I should vignette. Actually, I do like the vignette on that very much. We go bigger. That really, really frames it in. That sunlight is now really framed in. And yeah, you can see this nice soft silhouette here. There we go. Another one for the portfolio. I'm going to save it as, what am I going to save this as? Sunset over Cooksbrook. This is Cooksbrook Lake, by the way. Cooksbrook, Nova Scotia. Or it's called Cooks Lake, I believe. Cooks Lake, Nova Scotia. And there we go. Done. Another successful save. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to stop sharing, and that's it. That's photograph number 2. No interruptions from dogs. So I'm going to be posting this today as well. I have a few more that I have to do, but again, my weekend has turned into busy to insanely busy. So that's going to be it for me today as far as editing photographs. I wish I could do it all day, every day. I love it, but again, my body needs to move, and yeah. So anyway, if you like what I'm doing, please click the like button, subscribe, share. I love to give photographic tips. I love to give the editing tips. Um, and I'm going to link my website at the bottom in the description. Both my websites. So it's not tarot reading that I'm doing today, but it is all about keeping your mind fit. If you love photographs, even if you're not a person that walks around with a camera and does shots like this, if you love to just watch somebody working, I love doing the work, So keeping fit in your mind. This is my therapy. I love it so much. I'm a graphic technician. I don't call myself graphic designer, technical reasons. I'm a graphic technician. I love to do websites. I love to edit websites. I love my, graphic layouts. And if you have any photographs you want edited, please let me know. I love to do it, just so you know. It's my passion. Okay, so all the information that I missed will be in the description. And thank you all for stopping in. I appreciate each and every view that I get. So please like, share, and subscribe. Helps my algorithms. And have a fantastic, fantastic rest of your weekend.